All right, folks, we're back. Hello, thanks for watching the break screen and listen to the music. And hey, Zombie Grub, let's chat. How you doing?
Hi. So, yeah, Deciders match can't play until the stream chooses what they want to do. Snute versus Drogo apparently hasn't played yet, and they're just a finals, like a winners finals. But they're also not responding.
How is that not played? Much less, and more importantly, how has that not been on the mainstream?
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're gonna hold it up that much that they'd also have already told them to wait, and that's why they're not responding.
Well,
But
the only reason I find that crazy is like that would be a good match to hold, but DreamHack and more importantly WCS are usually a lot more concerned about their schedule. I know that Austin, for example, they were really upset at how late it ran, and like they're trying hard to make sure that doesn't happen again, and blibbity blobbity yada
yeah,
yada.
yeah. So that's kind of confusing to me too. I'm just like, yeah, just waiting to see what happens. Um, the other matches are just they're already they're already happening, and people are getting antsy about the decider match.
Yeah, Lambo and Zoolani saying, look, there's no way. Just let us go. Just let us start it.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I don't particularly have any mind in terms of like what we cast. Snute for Strogo would be cool, but maybe rather than holding on to that, we just grab one that's available. I don't know. You pick. You're driving. I
Well,
really don't have any say.
I mean, I am driving. I'm trying to drive anyways, but it's like through a congested freeway or
Are we
something.
there yet?
Because, yes,
Are we
like,
there
I mean, also
yet?
like Cloudy Strange would have been cool. Denver Showtime would have been fine because Showtime's actually in the losers round, but
Really?
yeah, Strange beat them. But they both have already started. They're not in chat anymore.
That's I was gonna say that's actually kind of surprising to me. Showtime is like the guy I would have picked to win the tournament, for example.
Yeah, the Mans are just talking about that. So it is one of those unfortunate limbo. Optimus Zanster would have been fine too. They already started.
Wait, how could they? I thought you couldn't start till main stage gave permission.
Optimus Lambo is a winners match.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the bracket. I was just listening.
Yeah. Bly and Hate Me haven't played yet. I'm afraid I'm gonna message them and just get no answer either though. Which it's like made me wonder if they were told like you didn't have to play. Oh, Steve finally responded.
Oh, what do you say?
Sure, starting shortly, doing veto soon.
I wonder why that got delayed so heavily.
Don't know. Maybe they figured they had time because they know how long it would take.
Okay, that'll be an interesting one to cast. So, quick reminder, guys, because things are still going on. Right now, we're still playing. Like at this moment in time, we're planning to cast until the end. But the thing that's kind of annoying is like there's potentially a lot of downtime following this too. So I don't know how far we'll go. But Group 3, I think, is the last thing to cast today. And then tomorrow, we're going to be helping with some more of the casting, too. So we'll be back for some DreamHack Day 2.
Do you know about day 3?
I don't. I was going to ask tomorrow to find out.
Okay.
But regardless of any of that, I do want to remind everybody about the prize for today. Surprisingly little bit boss action, so maybe people don't actually care so much about it. But I have one BlizzCon ticket left for sale. Well, not for sale. That's not right. For Bit Boss. Whoever's the Bit Boss at the end of the stream is going to get a BlizzCon ticket, which means I know it's limited. People can't actually go travel across the world, go to California, but BlizzCon's a pretty freaking big deal, and it's the one event each year I really look forward to. So hopefully you guys will, one of you will win this ticket. It'll be a fan of the channel. You guys can then come and maybe, I don't know, get drinks with us or something, hang out for a bit.
Something like that.
Most of the events we go to nowadays, like if we're not working, it really is just like hanging out, meet and greets. Like we don't schedule meet and greets, and we don't like say like meet us in this area at a certain time. But it's just nice, kind of walking around saying howdy doody to people.
I was gonna ask, like, what else is there to do when you're not casting? So you can try playing StarCraft. Cool.
Mm. Well, is it confirmed PtitDrogo then?
Confirmed is a hard word to use. They're gonna invite us unless the main stage talks to them before then.
Alright, I'm gonna just update title stream then. We'll see what happens. So should be Snute vs Drago up next then, and this is not the deciders. So in the theme of things, in the story and the timeline, we should be in the deciders match, but we're not. This is gonna be a winners match. Match. Snute 2-0ing Botvinnik and Drogo 2-0ing Night End.
Right.
I think I feel better for Snute in this one, because Drogo's not really a cheesy player, and Drogo's not really like an all-in player, so he's not gonna be the guy who kills Snute before Snute gets to macro. And if Snute gets to macro, it doesn't matter who his opponent is at that point. He's just unbeatable.
Yeah, I'm feeling good for Snute as well. But Drogo, the last time we cast him, a couple like I think it was one of the BaseTradeTV house things or something. I was surprised. I was like, you know, there was that time where Drogo would just lose to Zerg all-ins, and he would just be like, you know, he'd have like he'd tilt right off the face of the earth, right? Because the earth is flat, right? But he I think it was against Scarlet, and he brought it back, and he actually was seemed to be very calm and played a lot smarter. So if that Drogo comes, if his time in Korea has really paid off, then he might be able to take Snute in a macro game.
Well, this is how you know you're famous, when you're being discussed in the DreamHack mainstream StarCraft chat without even being there. I just sauntered on over to see what the game was like, and the first comment I see is a really shitty one. Nice.
Yeah, it's not the worst.
Oh, you're here too. What's up, Zombie Grub?
Oh yeah, I've already commented.
Just gonna drop an ace 1, an ace 2, an ace IDK, and then peace out.
Banned.
Yeah. I just looked at the moderator list. Blizzard EU mod 17, Blizzard EU mod 03. This just makes me think back to when people were like impersonating the WCS, like WCS admin A and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, it was what they were using, so. Clever little jerks.
Well, I don't know how long this is going to take for PtitDrogo to get this party going, guys, so we're going to just throw to another commercial break.
Just kidding. They invited me.
Just kidding. We're in the lobby. Great.
Perfect timing.
Commercials are really boring anyways. There's nothing for us to do during them, so that's awesome. Yay.
Oh, what the fuck?
Okay, so this is a little bit weird. I'm not sure why this got delayed. How come this... I'm actually really curious what happened here. Maybe there's some story? Because this is like a whole best of 3 behind the entire rest of the group stage.
That it is, yeah. My money's just on like they both knew they had time. Maybe they swap out computers. We were a bit occupied. So mysterious.
Okay, well, tweets out, Snute vs Drogo winners match starting now. Snute is such a baller, dude. I'm making jokes, right? I'm just like, Snute said we were a bit occupied. So like, you just say you met a girl, it's fine. I won't judge. It's like, yeah. Yeah, to sort things out for tonight. You're so cool, Snute. Put on those Snute glasses. The sunglasses. When I grow up, I want to be just like Snute.
Okay. So
handsome, blonde, and good at StarCraft.
You grow up, you're gonna want to be like someone who's younger than you.
Yeah. Well, that would make sense, actually, because you want to live longer, youth and all that.
It's true. I didn't see it, but while we were getting into the lobby, I noticed that Annie apparently had hijacked Snoot's computer and messaged me through him.
Oh, cool.
That's the girl they're talking about.
Well, I think we're ready. They're both saying go, so let's... Yeah, about time.
Yeah, I'm not the host.
No, Snute is. Interesting conversation points. I'm not going to show on stream, but Snute and Drogo are both top tier players. There's no question about it. And it's going to make for an interesting best of 3. It is the winner's match of their group. In all seriousness, apparently one of the big reasons things were delayed was, like, I think Drogo was playing like a 35-minute carrier game. So now it kind of makes sense why things were so far behind. Whereas before, I just thought they were both like AFK for an hour.
Well, they were. Because I think Drogo meant he also had played a 35-minute game, so he probably meant like I was taking a break. Because he said, I also played a 35-minute game, so that happened. That's what he said exactly.
Well, it's game number 1 either way in a fresh best of 3 in the top right. Playing for Team Liquid, it's going to be the Red Zerg Snute.
In the bottom left as the blue Protoss, he is Drogo.
So there's obviously pros and cons to each of them in their play style. I just feel like the fact that they both play those longer games, I do worry that we will run into a 35-minute carrier game and that Drogo will play slow and safe to that point. And I'm also worried that Snute will just get away with a lot of macro. I don't know, Zombie Grub. I know Snute's more willing to be aggressive than Drogo would be, I think, in terms of builds, but I don't know in terms of, like, units.
It's kind of weird to say that because Snute is not known for being an all-in cheesy, aggressive guy, but Drogo even less so.
When I say aggressive, I don't mean, like, all-in and cheese, though. I'm talking about the guy who's willing to get out there with the Roaches, the Ravagers, the Corsair Biles. Like, to be the one to make the first move, if that makes sense.
Well, I still think his stereotype would still not be that guy, wouldn't it? Usually very defensive, reactive, see the 5 bases. I don't know. I thought that was a stereotype.
I don't know if I'd agree with that, personally.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens in this game. I mean, I think if you gotta play a good ZvP, then the ZvP is going to be like, the Zerg does get aggressive in the mid-game. Like, that's just the way that the pacing of this matchup goes nowadays.
The only reason I bring this up, to segue into the point that I was trying to get to, though, is that really it's not on Snute to be the aggressor in this matchup, though, right? Like, Drogo doesn't want to leave him alone to do things, and not because it's Snute, not because Snute does magic with 70 drones, but he's Zerg, just period. Straight up, you don't want to let a Zerg player get away with a lot. So if Drogo has to be the one that gets aggressive, how does that go for him?
It might be okay. I mean, there are a couple ways to play the pace of ZvP, but of course the most stereotypical nowadays is Zerg gets +1 melee, Banelings and Hydras, and tries to bust down the Protoss on their 3rd/4th, especially on maps like Proxima. Second tier is a little bit weirder just because there is that pocket expansion they can get to, and while it doesn't have a second gas, it does give you better positioning, so it might be preferable for some. But if it does go that stereotypical path, then Drogo's going to have to just, hope to catch Snute a little off guard with either the Oracles or the Adepts. Because otherwise it will just be 70 drones for Snute versus 70 probes of Drogo, and then who can hold out better, which is then on the pressures on the Protoss player for the defense. Snute sometimes mixes in Spires, though, and plays other styles.
I like that you kind of described it too back there as the pacing, like how he plays the pacing of it, because realistically this matchup still boils down to Ling, Hydralisks, Banelings versus Zealots with Charge, Storms. I guess Blizzard kind of wants to make Colossus come back based on the community update, but we'll see if that actually happens or not. Did you see the proposed change for that?
No, I haven't seen this community update at all.
Oh.
It isn't clear.
Talk about like changing it so it's like 10 damage in the Colossus plus 5 versus light or something like that.
Okay, well, I mean, I was going to say, I think that they're already coming back from a few different players. Some players are just even kind of hard countering if they get that perfect scenario, if they get that perfect game. They are kind of hard countering the Colossus or the Baneling Hydra with Colossus. It's not as easy as getting Colossus and being like, haha, I guess you can't do it. But once you get to a certain amount of Colossus, oh, that was a good stasis trap up there, then it does do very well against someone who's just only going pure Ling Hydra Bane. I think Snoot's not as hesitant to go into Broodlords as some others. So I don't know if he'd really force the issue with just that attack over and over and over again.
Well, it's interesting. I think Snoot's more willing to play Broodlord versus Terran than Protoss nowadays. Sure.
But I still think, I think of Nerchio as someone who just thinks that Broodlords are trash and will instead go for like Overlord drops or splitting up his Hydras and catching the Protoss player off guard, and that's really cool to watch. And then there's, other Zergs who actually don't mind only doing 1 or 2 attacks and then going into late game versus Protoss. Who else was doing that? Penguin, the Korean Penguin, was doing just like pure Ling Hydra Bane, but the entire game and trying to make that work.
Well, some pretty nice and very consistent stasis traps. You knew he couldn't get much damage done through kills, but still manages to deny a significant amount of mining as we watch Snute, unfreeze. He's back on top with income. Frozen, he's once again unfortunately forced to waste all of this.
Drogo has some very nice Oracle control here. Now, there's always that sphere that it's so fancy and so well done that you aren't getting revelations and seeing that the army's moving across the map, but Snute is stereotypically a guy that goes for like 4 bases first and foremost. I think he knows he has time, not to worry. So Drogo gets his 3rd base up, no problem. 65 probes. And Snoots does add on not just the Hydra's then, but also the Spire. Like I said, he could. Not guaranteed, but he certainly could. It does help against this Warp Prism.
I like that he has the option, but Snoot's also been the type of guy to go for like just literally 1 muta to drive off things like Warp Prisms, right? Yeah. So I don't know. This could be like, you take Bly, for example. You go 8 mutas, you cause a bunch of harass, and sometimes win the game off of it. Or maybe it's just like defensive. Either way, I do like the fact that Banelings, and more importantly, +2 weapons are on the way. While the Hydras will eventually have an impact in the game, the +2 Banelings might actually get to kill some probes. After all, it's only going to take 1 shot with a Baneling that has level 2 upgrades.
At this point in time, I think it's pretty surprising when a Zerg player does not do any Baneling drops.
Whoa,
at least Baneling run by.
I hope this is wrong in chat. Someone saying Showtime's out?
Could happen.
Oh, the Oracle's going to make this attack so nice. Zealots already deal a ton of damage. Charge comes back up. Oh, they all body slam into that Queen. Now inside the mineral line, there's not a lot Snute can really do. He's trying to micro his best and buy time for the Hydras and Mutas to come save him, but ouch. It's already done quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, this was not a very... This isn't like an all-in, right? I think he maybe delayed his 4th base a little because he was planning on getting it to make all those zealots, but this is doing way too much damage. Drogo is on his macro plan still. He's got Storm +2. He's got another Nexus on the way.
He just killed the other hatchery, by the way. So 2.
This is a disaster. Very nicely done by Drogo, catching Snute at a very important time. Single zealot not cleaned up. It's like 2-3 more drones. Okay, this makes the game very difficult indeed. Snute, I don't know what he can do. Well, he doesn't have a very strong ground army, and his meter count's not high enough to be threatening.
Yeah. There's no running across the map for like 10 extra probes trying to even this up, and even if he did, like, the money game isn't where it's at. It's about what's the army, and Drogo's going to have Storms here any second. He's got Archons on top of this. If Snute pushes, he's dead. Pulling back, probably the smartest move he could have made. I don't know if he actually saw those Templars or the Lings that had run by, but either way, he knew that this was not going to be worth his adventure.
Yeah. There's led in death, made mayhaps by a red-haired villain. If only Drogo had red hair. That's a throwback to something you guys didn't even hear because it was on a break. Anyway. This is looking just like a disastrous game.
I remember us making fun of red-haired people, but I don't remember why.
You went on an adventure with the Gatherbot quest and woke up.
Oh yeah, I went on the Epic Sphinx adventure and I went to bed with, or no, I chatted up a cute redhead I met at the bar, and I woke up, passed out in the alley, stripped of all my belongings.
Yeah.
Stupid RP.
Bad adventure, bad trip, bad trip. That's what Snute would have gone on, and he still is on. Like, it's, you know, he's at home, but he still is getting like malaria or something. I don't know. Like, it's not a great little trek for Snute after taking so much damage. It was such a critical point of time too that it's still shocking to me. Drogo did not overcommit to an attack. It wasn't like cut probes or cut tech. Nah, he just had warp prisms warping in zealots as Snute was making an army, and not a very strong one against multiple zealots either. Like, if he was making banelings, sure, I guess it's cleaned up a lot earlier, but he was making pureling and hydra, and they were just getting cut to shreds every time they popped out. Another base goes down. These mutas trying their best, man. There's only 2 of them.
More than one.
Stroke's only 5th. Only goes 5th.
So, I kind of find Snute's choice to do this really interesting. One, this Phoenix out, we already know that. But secondly, it's like, you spend so much money on the Spire, it's a really expensive building, and so much money on the Mutalisks, and you only build like 2? Are you really getting your value out of it? I mean, it shuts in the Warp Prism, sure, but is that enough? Is that alone enough?
Probably not. But it's what he could muster up here. Oh, this army is 30 supply down. Not great to start off with, going up against Storm, Archon, Immortal, Charge.
Sim City.
Mothership is about to complete too. Drogo had a moment of supreme confidence, decides to wait for storms. The Lurkers could be a bit of a shock, but his army is still fine to deal with those too.
We'll catch some of the new Archons, maybe not by much, but oh, the Lurkers are definitely a shock. They're hitting the entire army right now.
I could have sworn he saw. Maybe he thought he had an observer, because I could have sworn he knew that there were Lurkers there.
That being said, they didn't actually kill much. They got everything in that army almost dead, but only killed like one thing.
All those Archons just lost their entire shields, but it didn't end up mattering. Drogo, he lost a handful of probes, but he's on 5 Nexus, so I don't think he really cares about that, and is just pushing to the win now.
This is not looking good for Snute. I wish there was something more he could do. I wish Lurkers would bring him back into this, but, you know, Revelation now available too. Detection is not the issue here.
No. So many of these Archons were low. They're being taken out.
Yeah, but it's so much effort to kill even one of the Archons. GG. Drogo gonna take game number 1.
Alright. That definitely felt like an off game for Snute, though.
I would agree. By the way, it looks like the loser of this already advanced because like everything's taking forever to play. So winner of this gets out of the group. Loser plays versus Botvinnik, which we'll probably end up casting because it's like the last match in the whole list of things here. But that'll be a good one too.
Yeah, I would look forward to casting some Botvinnik again. You can get a per extreme to the 28-month resub.
Thank you very much. I do see you guys in game, just waiting for the invite. There we go. Bizzle Reef for map number 2.
Showtime out confirmed. Ouch.
Damn, that's crazy. Who knocked him out?
Strange and Denver, I think.
Denver I can see, not Strange though. That's actually really impressive for Strange.
And then what's really weird to me is that, okay, Strange is having like a good day, but then he gets beat by Cloudy, so Cloudy gets out of that group in first. I don't
know what to make of that, man. That's crazy stuff. But alright, we're hopping into game number 2. He is currently losing the series 0-1. In the top left, he's the Red Zerg player, Team Liquid's Snute.
In the bottom right has the blue Protoss. It's Drogo.
Let's try and hit that moment where I'm like, wait, is she gonna talk or do I go first? Because normally it's pretty much all at the same time. I don't know why my brain did that. That's on me.
I was pretty confused. You'd never stayed zoomed in on a building so long.
It's like, all right, zombie, go for it. And she'll start introducing the other player, and I'll just stay here the whole time.
That throws me off, man. Now the cast is ruined.
I'm sorry, dude.
Oh.
I'll never do it. I'll never hurt you like that again. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
You're like, I'm tough.
Wow.
That didn't hurt. You're dumb.
I'm not crying.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
I this is actually, so I think there's a weird effect, and I think this is actually just universal, but when you expect something to be long, like it's like the percentage of time is what feels long, right? So I mean, if I know it was a 4-hour cast, I'm expecting a 4-hour cast. Sometimes hour 3 feels like it's been a long cast, you know, like, oh wow, still an hour to go. Okay, cool. But then if I'm expecting to cast 8 hours, 5 hours goes by and I'm like, oh, that was really quick. Oh, what happened? I don't even feel like I've cast for 5 hours. I've been like being all healthy and shit. Like I got my snacks throughout the entire time and like walking up and keeping hydrated. Plus I slept for like 10 hours beforehand.
So you're feeling great.
I'm feeling pretty good.
So you really wouldn't mind soloing group stage 3 is what I'm hearing.
You know, I wouldn't. Get a little bit of a blip when you change over the stream, but I could do it. I'm tough. And then like, you know, hour 6 hits and I'm like, oh, I made a mistake.
Yeah. Well, I'm not looking to tap out just yet, but we'll see how I'm feeling because I'm pretty exhausted already. I'm too old for this, guys. 10-hour cast used to be nothing for this old man. Now I'm in my 29s, and it's like, ugh, where's the time gone?
It's basically 30, which is basically 40, which is basically over the hill.
I agree with none of those statements. I disagree with all those statements.
29 is basically 30.
29 is not basically 30. 29 and a half would be closer to 30 than 29 would be. Because at least that way you round up.
I do what I want, Rifkin.
Okay, well we had a Robo opener coming out of Drogo. I should call it like a Twilight Council opener really, because like if this is just fast charge. Actually, I guess Resonating Glaives are still an option. Adepts are not like the go-to anymore, but they are pretty good units. So really curious to see what Drogo researches out of that Twilight Council.
Charge, 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 charge. He's not 200. Wait, it's 100, 100.
Yeah. So blink, blink, blink.
Dark Shrine. Wrong. All right,
okay,
well,
so
time's up.
Well, it times out, but it's really interesting. I don't know if maybe he was delaying this as long as he did because he really wanted to make sure an Overlord did not scout it, or I mean, was that in Vision? I don't think Snute saw that, right?
Usually,
no, he did not. He didn't even see anything in the main.
Plus, usually Protosses don't care if you see this. You know, they even put it in the front, but sometimes, you know,
the front butt,
surprise.
aka cleavage.
Front butt. Why do you have a butt on your chest? A butt on your chest. Ugh. Yeah. Sometimes they hide it, and it is a big surprise. Because, you know, Zerg player sees 3 gateways at the front. That could be a 3-gateway expand. It could be 3-gateway warp prism, but it could also be a gateway in the main with a dark shrine.
You're talking about your friend, like people in the game, not just friends. Okay, got it.
You lost me.
Okay, never mind.
Okay.
We'll leave the front butts behind us for now.
Okay.
With the Dark Shrine finishing up, though, I mean, this doesn't even have to be cheese. But, you know, Bly, that game I wasn't here for the other day, that was like 21-something workers killed for DTs alone. Sporecrawler might just get targeted down as the focus point, but Snute quick with a drone pull. Ooh.
Still gonna lose drones, though.
Tries to save that DT. He's really late for this. The Queen's also waiting to just turn on the Warp Prism. He's not going to get that Dark Templar alive. It gets to the main, but they're still low. This is so bad. Drogo's lost so much. I mean, granted, 13 drone kills are nice, but there's no follow-up now because the Archons aren't going to be here.
That ended up being more awkward than Drogo's hoping for. Because that looked not so bad if the Warp Prism was there to save the 4 GTs, but 2 Queens, a Spore Crawler, that ended up going kind of topsy-turvy. Overseer's on the way. DT gets taken out anyways. These DTs might end up being such a surprise that it does take up the Spore Crawler. Gotta go for the drones, though, and gotta skedaddle. He's Thought I saw the Overseer.
Yeah, I don't.
Run.
I was gonna say I don't know how much I would like another commitment to that. 18 workers killed, certainly good though.
I maybe that is worth it. I think even Drogo's like, oh, maybe I could have saved those initial BTs.
Well, I guarantee you he's considering that. Like that was a pretty silly loss of life. While this goes on though, he is getting the third base up and running.
Yeah. You know, not the fastest third base ever, but still finishing on 6 minutes. Pretty good. Has charge on the way. Immortal production starting up. And a bit of an attack. Hoping to catch Snute with only Lings and Banelings available. Not even that many, I guess, is more important. So.
Well, you talked about the gas count earlier, too. 100 only. I guess charge still never came out at any point. It's only researched now.
Oh, yeah.
The Zelts are still pretty good, but they can't run away with the game here.
They did not get taken out by the Banelings, though. There just weren't enough of them, and like 2 went on the Archons. And they're enough of a buffer still. Their health sometimes their greatest aspect.
Oh,
the Archons should have been saved. So that's too bad.
Like, Drogo's getting worker damage done. He's starting to hurt some of the queens. I feel like, though, these trades are not working out for him the way he wants to. Not only in terms of, like, actual value lost, right? But this is supposed to do so much more to Snute. This is supposed to throw off his build, mess up his larva / drone count. But really, he's still pumped out Hydras. He still has queens. He still has Lings.
I think I might have done an adequate job messing up Snute's build. But I also think that for what could have been, Drogo's not satisfied. You know, these late pickups in the Archons, the Warp Prism having to skirt around and almost die. If this is, like, smoother at all, this could have already snowballed, in fact, with how dangerous it was. But now Snute's found his footing with his army at the very least. He still is only at 54 drones, however, and no upgrades. Never stated +1, melee, or anything. And, I mean, his army is double the army supply, but only because Drogo is finishing up his production now. He should have large warp-ins of charge lots to fill this gap. He's going to cancel this. I think that was inevitable. He needs to warp in more before he can secure that base.
Yeah. Also, really, really, like, heartbrokenly sad. People keep coming to report Showtime being gone. Like, I am surprised. That is crazy to me. But I guess he's had a slump ever since that last Corsair season finals.
Yeah, I just said, you know, you feel like maybe he's just holding it in for the WCS. Mana and Showtime both out. We can go.
I wonder if they both lost to Zerg. Hydras are pretty cool.
Yeah, right? Alright, well, Snute feels a little bit desperate in this attack. He has a 4th base, but only 53 drones. No upgrades, as I was talking about, except for his Hydras. But it might just work out. Drogo... no, there's no warp in the charge lots. Never mind. If those charges weren't there, maybe the Immortals go down. Lingering Enforcements? It is close. Snute hoping for an opportunity to overwhelm. Alright, backs off.
Yeah. That was, for Drogo, really scary. I don't think Snute realized just how low Drogo's army count got to at a point there, but... Of course, he's not going to back off for too long, even though he does back off. The last thing he wants to do is give Drogo too much breathing room. Right.
He does need the Banelings for the charge lots. That you would assume is just being tried to fill the gaps, as I was saying. But there's even a couple Archons. Immortals have their barrier again. They're trying to tank for the charge lots. Not the greatest job ever done there for that. But it seems like there's enough of these powerhouse units with another warp in that Drogo might just be, like... I don't think he's winning so hardcore to say that he's going to 2-0 Snute, but he just denied the one opportunity I felt like for Snute to really do return damage. You know, it's not the army type that is bad. It is his economy and upgrades behind it that is pretty bad.
Yeah, no upgrades behind it at all.
Yeah. If this is a typical game and there's +2 melee and 70 drones, then... those are decent trades, you know. Drogo doesn't have a 4th, so it's okay, but it's not the case. And Drogo is now getting a 4th, feeling a lot more confident as he's had room to breathe. I don't know if he should feel this confident, though. There's no storms, his Warp Prism, not cleaned up, the Zealots are. He's thinking about it. Yeah, best option to recall there.
Alright, good way to save the army, no doubt about it. Snute is not sitting on a super awesome drone count, though. It's 58 drones, 4 bases. It's 3 in a way, but right now money is not exactly in his favor.
Still no Storm. I feel like when Storm is done, then Snute just is gonna like have no chance. But until then, the Banelings might just get those beautiful hits, despite not having triple hooks. And those were bad. The Chargers kind of ran in for the Banelings. The ship goes down. Immortals getting awfully low, losing their shields, but the Zealots clean up.
Oh, he just barely can't get those last couple hits on the Immortals.
Yeah. Janitors coming in an emergency and clean everything up. Perfect. Snute not willing to tap out yet, though, because these army trades continue to be very, very close. You break the Immortal count, you break the Archon count. Those take a long time to replace, very expensive to replace. Let's check the income. Oh, yeah, the blue has just been really starting to dip down. In a good way, that is, on the graph.
Yeah, in the Drogo way.
Yeah, the Drogo way. I mean, he was, you know, if that 4th base was continued to be denied because Drogo really thought he couldn't take it, he was starting to lose out on minerals in the mana natural. Obviously, Snute is the same boat, though. Now
Same
things
boat,
are really
lesser army.
starting. Yeah, so things are starting to really turn. Maybe Snute has one more really good push in him before Drogo can afford to research Storm, maybe get a second Robo. Now he has +2, by the way.
I can't mouse over. Can you mouse over the Archon weapon?
Yeah, what about it?
+2, how much damage does it do?
First biological is 43.
Okay, so we can definitely tango with these Banelings.
They just took out a huge chunk.
Yeah.
That was pretty perfect for Drogo. His Zealots are appropriately being caught behind the Immortals. Now they come forward.
I can't believe those Immortals are still alive, but I guess that's in the name, guys. 18 kills on this guy. GG. Drogo will take a 2-0 over Snute and advance on. I mean, we might have had Showtime and others start falling like Mana, but Drogo, more power to him. Also, congratulations to Zanster, who did finish 1st place in his group as well.
Cool.
I guess, does this just send us to the decider match, Botvinnik versus Snute?
I think so.
Oh, we gotta find out if we can cast or not. Small break, though, in the meantime, guys. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. Thanks for watching.